So one of the things that people ask is how do they get rid of stage fright? Because, right before someone is about to speak, like for example, if I'm going to address a huge crowd, I get really nervous, George. And well, if you could share some tips on how people could get rid of stage fright, or if they can't get rid of it, at least to manage it.
Well, everyone has stage fright. As a matter of fact, I always tell everyone that public speaking is the biggest fear of human beings all over the world. More people are scared of public speaking than they are of reptiles or fear of heights or stuff, right? And I always, well, I have a program actually, which tackles that. For those of you who are interested, it's entitled "You Got the Power." It's one of my most popular programs. The title speaks for itself. It gives you the power to overcome your fear of public speaking. When I ask people, why are you scared in the first place? And they say they're so scared of the audience. The audience might laugh at them. They might not be that good, and several other reasons. Let's take, for example, fear of the audience. A lot of them are afraid that the audience might laugh at them, the audience might judge them. And I always counter, you haven't even spoken yet, and you've judged your audience already. So who's the worst judge? They really had to take that off their mind, fear of the audience, because more often than not, the primary reason why you are called to speak in front of people is because they think you're an expert on something, right? And the primary reason why those people are there is for them to listen to you. So we have to parlay that. We have to take advantage of that and make that our starting point. So they're interested in me. They know I have something to tell them, to share with them. So, so be it. See, it's just a matter of being yourself. Now, they tell me, the problem, George, is I shake, so I tend to hide behind the podium. And I always tell my clients never hide behind the podium. In fact, I would rather you don't have a podium at all. But of course, if you have a laptop with you, you might, you might, you need something to put your laptop on. Another thing that could help them get rid of the fear is by holding on to something. A ball pen, for instance. You can't relate to this because you're not a dad yet. But I've experienced this 3 times already. Every time my wife gave birth, I'm at the waiting room with several other dads who are waiting for their wives to give birth, and a lot of them are pacing back and forth in the waiting room. I've observed that several times, and I tell my students, okay, so if you're afraid of your audience, this is what you do: use the stage, walk back and forth. That's gonna somehow minimize your stage fright. Now you gotta hold on to something. Remember when you were a kid? When you were a kid, you were scared of something. What did you do? You went to mom or dad and hung on to them, right? Of course, you can't hang on to your mom or dad while giving a speech. You can't hang on to a table or to or the podium. So what do? Use a ball pen. Hold that ball pen. That becomes your security blanket. And while you're doing that, you're pacing back and forth and you're using the ball pen, pointing at things just like this. What happens? You suddenly become so or look so professional. You look so confident about the things that you're saying because you have a ball pen, gesturing, and then walking back and forth without those people knowing that you're actually scared shitless. So that's the primary thing. You have to get over it by your body language. If you just stay there static, what's going to happen? You're going to shake. Your knees are going to shake, and that's going to show. So you might as well walk back and forth, hold a ball pen. Take a look at the newscasters, international or local. If you think they're not nervous, most of them are until now, even if they're professionals. What do? They have ball pens. Do they have a piece of paper to write on? None. It's just something that they had to hang on to. And it's been very effective. I've tried it several times. Even The most scared student that I had did that, and he was able to overcome his fear of public speaking. So hang on to something, and then look at your audience. We were taught in school. What were we taught in school? If you're nervous, just look over the heads of everyone else. Look at a far wall. That's wrong. Make eye to eye contact. If you make eye to eye contact, you become part of the audience. Once you become part of the audience, it's going to be very easy for you to relate to them and for them to relate to you. They will understand if you're scared because they too are scared. Have you ever experienced, RB? Let me ask you this. You're watching a concert, or you're watching somebody speak and he commits an error, or somebody singing and he goes out of tune. Don't you feel so uncomfortable for him? Same thing. Your audience is your ally. They're not there to put you down. So if you're comfortable with what you are saying, your audience becomes more comfortable with you, and both of you become relaxed. And of course, a fail safe thing is smile. When you're on stage, when you're in front of people, smile at them, they'll smile back at you. Tension, the stress goes down.
You're the one who's judging the audience. It's
Yeah.
not the other way around. And so when I
Mm-hmm.
get scared, it's because I judge them as probably, like a hostile audience or an
Yeah.
unfriendly audience.
Mm-hmm.
Second tip is hold on to something, like preferably like a ball pen.
Yep.
Uh,
Uh-huh.
bec-
Invest in a very nice ball pen. It doesn't have to be a, a Parker or a Mont Blanc,
yeah,
but
yeah.
invest in something looks nice.
And then the third one is now that you're a little bit more comfortable holding onto the pen, they can sense that, and the
Mm-hmm.
audience empathizes with you. They want you to succeed, as a matter of fact. And when you're feeling better, they feel better about your presentation. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's what I heard from what you
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's a giveaway from me because from what I said, nobody will enroll in my classes anymore.
said. Yeah, so that's
No,
probably
just kidding. There's more to it. There's more to it.
that's a good preview, George. So, yeah, and I've seen George's PowerPoint. Like, we can't possibly fit this into 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
which is the TikTok limit. But yeah, like if you want to know like how you could get rid of stage fright rather, like
Mm-hmm.
contact George.
All right, I'll give you my number now, 0939 That's 0939 or contact me via email at george.mercado@gmail.com.